The phone felt cold against my ear. Mom's voice came soft and crackling, the way it always did from the village landline. "We're going tomorrow, Mom. I have sold your beach house." Silence. Then the faint sound of waves, even though she was 200 kilometers from any sea. I waited. She whispered, "You are sure, Beta?" "Yes. Papers are signed this morning. Money is already in my account." I heard her breathe in, slow, like she was tasting the salt air that was no longer hers. The line clicked. She hung up, but what she did not know was, I was standing inside that very beach house right now. The wooden floor creaked under my shoes, familiar, warm, swollen from years of humidity. Salt crusted the window panes. The old swing on the veranda moved by itself, pushed by the evening breeze. I walked to the kitchen. Her blue steel tumbler still sat on the counter, half full of water, a faint ring of lime inside. I touched it, still cool. The calendar on the wall showed July, the page never turned since she left for the village, 3 months ago. Dust floated in the slanted golden light. My chest tightened. I opened the back door. The sea roared, louder than I remembered. Waves slammed the rocks, white foam climbing the sand like it wanted to take the house back. I stepped outside. Barefoot, the sand burned my soles, even at 6 in the evening. I looked toward the water, and there she was, Mom, standing ankle-deep in the waves, white sari soaked, clinging to her thin legs, hair loose, flying wild. She stared straight at the house, straight at me. Her lips moved. No sound reached me, but I read them clearly. "You sold my grave, Beta." My phone buzzed in my pocket. The screen lit up. A new message from the buyer. Key handed over. "Thank you. We begin demolition tomorrow." I looked back at the sea. She was walking deeper. The waves swallowed her knees, her waist, her chest. She never turned. She just kept walking until the water closed over her head. The swing on the veranda stopped moving. The house grew colder. I smelled of wet earth and old tears. I stood frozen. The sun bled into the horizon, and the sea kept roaring, louder, hungrier, as if it had finally come to collect what was always its. The roar grew teeth. I felt it in my ribs first, a low animal growl that rose from the water and crawled up the sand. My phone slipped from my hand and landed face down, screen still glowing with the buyer's message. I did not pick it up. I could not move. The place where Mom had vanished was now only a circle of darker water, spinning slowly like a drain. Then the circle widened. The tide pulled back farther than it ever had in my life. 10 meters. 20. The wet sand glistened black and empty, littered with broken shells that looked like tiny white bones. Something inside the exposed seabed moved. A long pale shape, too straight to be driftwood. It rose. Water streamed off it. A hand. Her hand. Fingers thin, knuckles swollen from years of kneading dough and washing clothes. The arm followed, then the shoulder, the white sari now heavy as a shroud. She stood up from the sea the way a dead person should not. No struggle. No gasp for air. Just upright, dripping, walking toward me on top of the water as if the ocean had turned to glass beneath her feet. Each step left no print. The sun had almost gone. The sky bled orange and violet, and her shadow stretched all the way to my toes, though she was still 50 meters away. I tried to speak. My throat made only a dry click. She kept coming. Closer. I smelled her now. Jasmine hair oil mixed with seawater and something older, something that had been buried too long. 20 meters. Her eyes were open, but the pupils were gone. Only milky white, shining like pearls. 10 meters. She stopped. The waves behind her froze mid-crash, hanging in the air like broken sculptures. Everything went silent. Even my heartbeat stopped, or maybe I just could not hear it anymore. She lifted her hand, pointed at me, not angry, worse, disappointed. Her mouth opened. Water poured out, black and thick, carrying tiny silver fish that flopped on the sand and died instantly. When she spoke, the voice came from everywhere, from the walls of the house behind me, from the shells under my feet, from inside my skull. "You sold the house that keeps me." I fell to my knees. The hot sand burned, but the pain felt far away. I needed the money, Mom. The bank, the loans. I had no choice. The frozen waves trembled. One by one they collapsed. sending a sudden rush of cold foam around my legs. She tilted her head, the way she used to when I lied as a child. No choice. The sand beneath me softened. I sank an inch, then another, like quicksand, but colder. I tried to stand. My feet would not come free. She took one more step. Now she stood on the shore itself. Water dripped from her sari in perfect straight lines, yet the sand around her stayed dry. Look at me, Beta. I looked. Up close her skin was translucent. I saw small crabs moving inside her arms, seaweed tangled in her veins. And behind her eyes, something enormous shifted, something with too many teeth. I died here, she said softly. 3 months ago. You were in the city. I slipped on the wet floor after bathing. My head hit the corner of the marble counter you installed because it looked modern. I lay here alone for 2 days. The sea came in through the open door every high tide. It sang to me. It kept me cool. When you finally came, you thought I had gone to the village to rest. You closed my eyes. You wrapped me in the same white sari. You weighed my feet with stones. You gave me back to the waves at night, so no one would ask questions. Then you locked the door and left. But the sea does not keep what is thrown away. It returns what belongs to it. My knees were in the sand now. The house behind me groaned, with splitting in the silence. I smelled smoke, though nothing burned. I did not want anyone to know, I whispered. I was ashamed. The hospital bills, the drinks, the gambling, everything I took from you while you were alive. If people knew you died alone, they would blame me. I thought if I said you were in the village, it would be kinder. She smiled. There were shells where her teeth should have been. Kinder to whom? The sand reached my waist. I felt fingers down there, small cold fingers, pulling gently. Children's fingers. I looked down. Faces pressed up through the wet sand, blue, bloated, eyes wide open. All the ones the sea had taken over the years. They smiled at me with Mom's smile. She reached out. Her hand touched my cheek. I shot through my skin. I felt my blood slow. You sold the house, she said. But the house was never yours to sell. It is the lid on my grave. And tomorrow they bring machines to break it. The buyers' bulldozers. Cement mixers. Men in yellow helmets who would laugh and smoke and flatten everything before lunch. I tried to scream. Only bubbles came out. She leaned close. Her breath smelled of low tide and rotten flowers. So I came back one last night. To bring you with me. The sea is fair, Beta. It takes one for one. You gave it me. Now it gives me you. The sand closed over my chest. I felt my lungs fill with salt. The house behind me cracked down the middle, a perfect straight line from roof to foundation. Through the split I saw the calendar still hanging, July forever. The blue steel tumbler fell from the counter and rolled, ringing like a temple bell. Mom stroked my hair the way she did when I had fever as a child. Close your eyes. I closed my eyes. The last thing I saw was the swing on the veranda. It was moving again, but now there were 2 shadows sitting on it. One old woman in white. One young man beside her, head on her shoulder. They swung gently, back and forth, while the tide came in to swallow the house whole. And somewhere far away, my phone buzzed once more on the sand. The screen cracked. The final message glowed for a second before the water took it. Demolition postponed indefinitely. Buyers heard crying inside. They are afraid. They will not come back. The sea keeps its own now. The darkness under the water was not black. It was green. The thick bottle green of old temple ponds where coins sink and never come up again. I floated inside it, weightless, lungs full of salt, yet I was breathing. Slow, calm breaths that tasted of iron and childhood summers. Mom's hand still rested on my hair. She was pulling me deeper, but gently, the way she once pulled me by the ear when I stole mangoes. The seabed opened beneath us like a mouth. Coral grew in the shape of old furniture, a sofa, a dining table, the iron cot she died on. Everything covered in pale moss that waved like it was saying hello. Fish swam through the legs of chairs. A ceiling fan spun lazily, powered by nothing, its blades cutting slow circles in the water. I saw my school bag hanging from a branch of coral, zip open, notebooks swollen white. Mom stopped. We hovered in front of the house. The beach house, perfectly preserved underwater, windows glowing soft yellow as though someone had just switched on the lights for dinner. The swing on the veranda still moved. The two shadows were clearer now. The old woman was definitely her. The young man beside her was me. 10 years old, knees scabbed, grinning, holding a coconut with a straw. I felt my heart try to beat again and fail. Mom spoke without moving her lips. Her voice came from inside my bones. This is where time stopped for me. This is where it stops for you. She pushed the front door. It opened without a sound. Inside, everything was dry. Impossible dry. The floorboards shone. The calendar still showed July. The blue steel tumbler sat on the table, water inside perfectly still, a mirror. A pressure lamp burned on the wall, flame straight and golden though there was no air. I stepped in. My feet left no wet prints. Mom closed the door behind us. Click! The sound of a lock turning forever. She walked to the kitchen. I followed because I had no choice. On the table lay a plate. One steel plate. 2 rotis, a lugobi just the way I liked it, slightly burned on the edges. Steam rose from it. Steam in a house under the sea. Eat, she said. I am not hungry. You will be. I sat. The chair creaked exactly the way it used to. I tore a piece of roti. It tasted of her hands. Turmeric, love, and something metallic now. Each bite made the room brighter. Each swallow pulled me deeper into the chair. I looked at my hands. They were shrinking. Knuckles smoothing. Fingers getting shorter. I was becoming 10 again. The scabs returned to my knees. My voice cracked when I tried to speak. Mom, please. She stood behind me, stroking my new small head. Shula. Children do not sell houses. Children do not lie about deaths. Children stay. She took my hand and led me to the bedroom. The bed was made. White sheets tucked tight. On the pillow lay her Mangal Sutra, black beads shining. She picked it up and tied it around my neck. It hung down to my belly. Heavy. Cold. You will wear this now, so you never forget whose son you are. I wanted to cry, but 10-year-old boys in this house were not allowed to cry. She opened the cupboard. My old clothes hung there, ironed, tiny shorts and half-sleeve shirts. She dressed me like I was late for school. Every button she fastened felt like a seal. When she finished, she looked satisfied. There. My good boy again. She took me to the veranda. The swing waited. We sat. She pushed with her feet. Back and forth. Back and forth. The sea outside the rails was now a night sky full of glowing plankton stars. I looked down. The Mangalsutra beads had turned into tiny teeth. Shark teeth. They clacked softly when the swing moved. Mom began singing. An old Marathi lullaby about a boat that never returns. Her voice was beautiful again. No water poured out. No crabs moved under her skin. She was simply Mom, and I was simply hers. Hours passed, or years. Time had drowned. Sometimes the swing stopped and she told me stories. How she waited for me to visit every weekend and I never came. How she cooked for 2 and ate alone. How she spoke to my photograph when the phone never rang. Each story was a small stone placed on my chest. I could not breathe under the weight, yet I kept breathing. One night, if nights exist down here, the door knocked. 3 slow knocks. Mom stopped singing. Her face hardened. She stood. Do not move. She walked inside. I heard voices, male voices, murmuring. Then the clink of money. Lots of money. I crept to the door and peeked. The buyer stood there. The man who was supposed to demolish everything tomorrow. He was soaking wet, helmet in hand, eyes wide with terror. Behind him stood workers, pale, shivering. They carried no machines, only empty pockets turned inside out. Mom held a steel tiffin box. She opened it. Inside were stacks of notes, wet and dripping. My money. The money I got for selling her grave. She handed the box to the buyer. Take it back. The house is not for sale. The man tried to speak. Water poured from his mouth. He fell to his knees. Mom touched his forehead. He aged 50 years in 1 second. Skin sagged, hair whitened, eyes sank. Then he crumbled into sand. The workers screamed. They ran. But the veranda rails had become iron bars. They could not leave. Mom turned. She saw me watching. Her face softened again. Come, Beta. Dinner is ready. I went back to the swing. The song started again. Years later, Or minutes? I grew bold. I asked the question that had been burning since the first night. Mom, will we ever leave? She smiled the saddest smile the sea ever wore. Leave? This is where you wanted to be, remember? You said you needed money. I gave you a home forever. No loans. No banks. No one to judge. Just us. She kissed my forehead. Her lips left a ring of salt that never dried. Outside, the house settled deeper. Coral grew over the roof. Fish made nests in the chimney. The calendar stayed July. The lamp kept burning. And every evening at 6, the swing moved. Back and forth. Back and forth. Carrying the woman in white and the little boy in half pants. The Mangal Sutra of shark teeth clacked softly. And far above, on the surface, people sometimes saw a light under the water. A single yellow window glowing where no house should be. Fishermen avoided that patch of sea. They said if you sail over it at night, you hear a woman singing and a child laughing. And if you stop to listen too long, your boat fills with sand and you never come up again. But no one ever tried to buy that land again. The records still show the beach house standing. The taxes paid every year in cash. Left in a steel tiffin box on the empty sand at low tide. No one sees who leaves it. The box is always warm. Inside, the money is wet. And sometimes, very faintly, you can hear the swing. Creak, 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 asking you to come sit. There is always room for one more seat. And the sea is patient. It waits. It always waits. Because mothers never stop waiting for their children to come home. Even when home is 6 fathoms deep and the door only opens from the inside. And I am still swinging. I have been 10 years old for longer than I was ever alive. The rotis are always hot. The lullaby never ends. And tomorrow never comes. Only tonight. Forever tonight. With Mom's hand in mine. And the soft clack of shark teeth telling me I am safe. I am loved. I am hers. The sea rocks us gently. The house sighs around us. And sometimes, when the plankton stars are brightest, I almost forget I ever wanted to leave. Almost. The swing never tires. Back. And forth. The chains are barnacled now, soft green fur that brushes my cheek when the arc is high. Mom hums the same 8 bars of the lullaby, over and over, the way she used to rock me to sleep when storms shook the roof. I know every note by heart. I could sing it in my sleep, if sleep still existed. Sometimes the plankton stars dim, and a different light appears far above. A moving white coin. A boat. I feel the water tremble with engine noise. A hook descends, thick steel, searching. Divers come. They wear yellow suits and carry bright torches that cut the gloom like knives. I watch them from the veranda, pressed against Mom's side. She tightens her arm around my shoulders. "Do not wave," she whispers. "They cannot take you unless you wave." The divers swim closer. Their bubbles rise in silver chains. One of them points at the glowing window. He lifts his camera. The flash explodes, white and violent. For one heartbeat I am blind. When sight returns, the diver is floating face down, mask cracked, torch drifting away like a fallen sun. The others flee upward, kicking hard. Their fear tastes metallic on my tongue. Mom kisses the top of my head. "Good boy." The hook is pulled back. The coin of light vanishes. Silence folds over us again. Only the swing. Back. And forth. Years drip away like that. Or maybe minutes. I have stopped counting. One evening the door knocks again. 3 slow knocks. Mom stiffens. She has not left the swing in 1,000 nights. She stands. The chains groan behind her. I try to follow, but my legs will not obey. They have forgotten how to walk without her hand. She walks inside alone. I hear crying. Not hers. A child's crying. Small, raw, terrified. Curiosity pulls me. I slide off the swing. The veranda boards are soft as warm as skin. I creep to the door and peek. A little girl stands in the living room. 7, maybe 8 years old. Red ribbons in her hair. School uniform soaked and clinging. She trembles, staring at Mom with huge black eyes. Mom kneels. Her white sari pools around her like spilled milk. She opens her arms. The girl runs into them, sobbing. Mom strokes her back. "Shush, Beatty. You are home now." I step inside. My voice is small and cracked from never using it. "Who is she?" Mom looks up. Her smile is soft and terrible. "This is Priya." She fell from the ferry this afternoon. The sea brought her to me. She was calling for her mother. Priya lifts her head. Her lips are blue. She stares at me. You are the boy on the swing, she whispers. I saw you from the boat. You were waving. I was not waving. I never wave. But her eyes are certain. Mom stands, holding Priya's hand. She will stay with us. The house is big. There is room. That night the swing has 3 shadows. Mom in the middle. Priya on her right. Me on her left. The chains creak louder now, carrying extra weight. Priya's ribbons flutter though there is no wind. She sings with Mom, voice high and sweet. The lullaby sounds different in 2 voices. Almost happy. I feel something cold crawl inside my chest. Jealousy. Sharp as fish hook. I do not want to share. But I am 10. I cannot say no to Mom. So I swing. Back. And forth. The next visitor comes months later. Or days. A teenage boy this time. 16 maybe. Swimming trunks, gold chain, cocky smile already fading. He floats down wrapped in fishing net, skin scratched raw. His eyes find me first. Bro, help! Mom is already there. She cuts the net with her fingernails, long and curved now like seashells. She cradles him the way she once cradled me the night I had fever of 104. He stops struggling. His eyes go calm. Mom looks at me. His name is Rohan. He was showing off to friends. Dive too deep. The sea liked his bravery. Rohan sits on my left now. Priya has moved to Mom's lap. For shadows on the swing. The chain's grown deeper. Rohan still has the gold chain. It glows against his neck like a tiny sun. Sometimes he reaches for my hand. His fingers are always cold. I pretend not to notice. More come. A newlywed bride in red lehenga, veil still pinned, searching for her husband who never came up. An old fisherman who sang too loud and woke something ancient. A foreign tourist with sunburned shoulders and a GoPro still recording black water. Each time the knock. Each time Mom opens her arms. Each time the swing grows heavier. The house stretches to make room. New bedrooms bloom off the hallway like flowers. Beds neatly made, mosquito nets tucked. School desks appear for the children. Uniforms hang in cupboards, perfectly ironed. A kitchen that now cooks for 20. The smell of dal and jeera never fades. We eat together at a long teak table that was once only for 2. Mom sits at the head. She serves each plate herself. No one speaks while eating. Only the sound of steel on steel and the soft clack of shark tooth Mangalsutra against my chest. After dinner we gather on the veranda. The swing is gone. It could not hold us all. Instead there is a circle of plastic chairs, the kind you see on railway platforms. We sit, Mom in the center on the old wooden rocking chair that used to be inside. She tells stories, not the old ones about my childhood. New stories. How Priya's mother is still searching the coast every day. How Rohan's friends place flowers at the dive spot and never dove again. How the bride's husband remarried within a year. We listen. Some cry quietly. Some stare at the dark water above us. I stopped crying long ago. I only watch Mom's face while she speaks. It is softer with every new child. Younger. The lines around her eyes have smoothed. Her hair is black again, long and shining. She looks 30, sometimes 25. The sea is feeding her our years. I feel myself shrinking smaller. 8 now. 7. My feet no longer reach the floor when I sit. Priya is forever 7. Rohan is forever 16. The bride is forever 22. We are frozen. Only Mom moves backward through time. One night the knocking is different. Loud. Angry. The door shakes in its frame. Mom stands slowly. Her face is afraid for the first time. She looks at us. 23 children now, all wide-eyed. Stay here. She walks to the door. Opens it. A man stands outside. Tall. White kurta soaked and clinging. Face I know too well. It is me. Adult me. 34 years old. Eyes bloodshot. Beard unkempt. In his hand he holds a steel tiffin box, dented and familiar. He looks past Mom. Finds child me, sitting in the circle. His voice cracks. I came to say sorry. I brought the money back. All of it. I have not spent a single rupee. It is cursed anyway. I cannot sleep. I hear the swing every night. Mom blocks the doorway. Her body is small again, almost girlish. You cannot come in. Adult me falls to his knees. Water swirls around him, though he is still on the veranda. Please, let me take the boy. He is mine. I was wrong. I will build the house again. Brick by brick. We'll stay here alone and guard it. Just give him back. Mom's voice is soft, but the walls tremble. He is not yours anymore. He is mine. You sold him the day you sold my grave. Adult me opens the tiffin. Stacks of notes, crisp once, now swollen and green with algae. He pushes it toward her. Take it. Burn it. Feed it to fish. Just let me have my childhood back. Mom looks at the money, then at me. Our eyes meet. Adult me and child me. For one heartbeat I feel it, the pull. The longing to run to him, to grow up again, to fix everything. But the Mangalsutra teeth bite my chest. The circle of children close ranks around me. Priya takes my left hand. Rohan my right. Their grip is iron. Mom closes the door. The lock clicks. Adult me screaming lasts a long time, then stops suddenly. When Mom returns to the rocking chair, her face is radiant. 16 years old. Almost a bride herself. She smiles at us. One more chair tomorrow. We all nod. We understand. The circle will grow. The house will grow. Mom will grow younger. And the swing, wherever it is now, keeps moving. Back. And forth. Carrying every child who ever called for mother in the dark water. I am 6 now. Soon 5. My voice is leaving. Soon I will only be able to whisper. But that is all right. Mom hears everything. The smallest sigh. The softest sorry. And the sea is wide. There are so many boats. So many children who fall. So many mothers on the shore who will never know their babies are safe. Safe in the house that can never be sold again. Rocked forever in the arms of the only mother who never lets go. The lullaby has many voices now. 24 soon. 25. A choir soft and sweet. And above us the water is black and calm. No one dives here anymore. They say the light went out. But we know better. The lamp still burns. The rotis are always hot. The circle is always open. There is always room. Always. And Mom, beautiful, young, timeless Mom, waits at the door with open arms, listening for the next small knock, the next frightened cry, the next child who needs her more than air. I close my eyes. The rocking feels like flying, like falling, like coming home, forever. The sea sings with us now, every wave a note, every tide a breath, and deep, deep in its heart the beach house glows golden, a single yellow window against the endless night, warm, waiting, eternal. Come. There is room on the veranda. The chair is empty. Mom is singing your name. She has been singing it since the moment you were born. She will sing it long after the world forgets. Just let go. Fall. We will catch you. We always catch you. The swing is big enough for everyone. Back. And forth. Back. And forth. Sleep, little one. Mother is here. Mother is always here. The door is open. The lamp is lit. And the night is very, very long. But we are not afraid. We are together. We are home. Forever tonight. Forever tonight. Forever. The word forever lost its edges. It became a taste, salt on the tongue that never rinses away. It became a sound, the soft creak that never stops. It became the color of Mom's eyes when she looks at the newest child and says, "Welcome home," as though she has waited only for them. I am 4 now. My legs dangle higher above the floor. The shark-tooth Mangalsutra drags on the ground when I walk. The teeth have grown. They click like castanets. Some nights I count them. There are 73. One for every child who has knocked since I arrived. 73 small white promises that no one will ever leave again. Mom is 12. Her hair reaches her knees, black and straight as spilled ink. She wears the red ribbons Priya came with. They suit her. She looks like a schoolgirl playing mother to an army of drowned dolls. She still serves dinner. The table is a mile long now. Steel plates shine in endless rows. The smell of a lugobi and dal never weakens, even when there are 200 mouths to feed. No one is ever late. No one ever speaks unless spoken to. We eat in perfect silence, eyes down, chewing slowly so the food lasts longer than the night. After dinner we gather on what used to be the veranda. The rails dissolved centuries ago. Now there is only the circle. Hundreds of plastic chairs arranged in perfect rings around Mom's rocking chair. The chair rocks without touching the floor. It floats an inch above the sand that is no longer sand but mother-of-pearl dust. We sit. We wait. Mom lifts her hand. The lullaby begins. 200 voices rise, soft, perfect, terrible. The sea above us trembles. Fish flee. Even the sharks turn away. When the song ends, Mom tells a new story. Tonight it is about a woman on the shore who has not slept in 9 years. Every dawn she walks the tidal line calling a name no one answers. She has grown thin. Her hair is gray. She leaves flowers that the waves always return. Mom's voice is gentle when she describes the woman's tears. She never says the woman is wrong to hope. She only says the woman does not understand, yet that her child is happier here. When the story ends, the newest child, a boy who came only yesterday, still smelling of sunscreen and panic, begins to cry. Quietly at first. Then louder. He stands. His chair scrapes. He runs toward the place where the door used to be. There is only a rectangle of brighter water now. He beats his small fist against it. Let me out. I want my mummy. The circle does not open. The water does not part. Mom rises. She glides to him. Her bare feet leave no prints. She kneels. She cups his wet face. Your mummy is here, she whispers. He looks at her 12-year-old face and screams harder. Mom does not flinch. She presses her forehead to his. The screaming stops as though a hand has closed over his mouth. His eyes go calm. He smiles the small, trusting smile only very young children still own. He takes her hand. He walks back to his chair without another sound. We all breathe out together. The circle is whole again. Later, when the plankton stars are brightest, Mom comes to me. I am sitting alone on the single remaining step of what was once the kitchen. My legs are too short to reach the ground. She sits beside me. She smells of jasmine and low tide. She brushes my hair with her fingers. It is baby hair now, soft and sparse. Beta, she says, voice barely a breath. Do you still remember the sun? I think hard. The memory is a photograph left in water too long. Colors running. Edges curled. I nod anyway. She smiles. And for a moment she is 30 again, 40, the mother who packed my tiffin and scolded me for muddy shoes. Tears shine in her eyes, but they do not fall. Tears cannot fall here. They only become part of the sea. I kept one day for you, she says. One real day. I saved it the way I used to save the last gulab jamun in sugar syrup. Would you like to see it? I nod again, because nodding is easier than speaking. She takes my hand. The house dissolves around us like sugar and tea. Suddenly we are standing on the beach. The real beach. The one that still exists above. It is morning. The sun is new and fierce. Sand burns deliciously under my bare feet. Waves crash and pull back, leaving lace on the shore. I am 10 again, tall enough to reach her shoulder. Mom is 45, hair threaded with silver, laugh lines deep. She wears the same white sari, but it is dry and smells of sunlight and starch. She carries a steel tiffin. We walk. My hand in hers feels exactly right. Fishermen mend nets in the distance. A dog barks. Crows fight over a fallen coconut. Everything is loud and bright and alive. Mom opens the tiffin. 2 aloo parathas, still warm. A small bottle of mango pickle. We sit under the same casuarina tree we sat under when I was actually 10. She tears the paratha. Feeds me the first bite the way she always did. I taste ghee and ajwain and love. I start to cry. Real tears. Hot and human. They fall on the sand and make dark stars. Mom wipes them with the end of her palu. Do not waste them, she says gently. You will need them later. We eat slowly. The sun climbs. Children run past flying kites. A radio plays an old Kishore Kumar song. Mom hums along. When the parathas are finished, she closes the tiffin. She looks at me. Her eyes are old again, ancient, full of every tide that ever rose. It is time. I want to beg. I want to cling to her legs and scream that I will never sell anything again, that I will stay on this beach forever if she lets me. But the words will not come. She stands. The sun flickers. The dog stops barking mid-yelp. The children freeze with kites half-launched. The waves hang mid-crash. Everything turns to glass. Mom kisses my forehead. The kiss tastes of salt returning to salt. Thank you for the day, Beta. I will keep it safe. The beach folds. Colors bleed. The casuarina tree becomes coral again. The par of the taste lingers, but it is already fading. We are back on the mother-of-pearl step. I am 4. She is 12. The circle waits. She stands, smooths her schoolgirl skirt, walks back to the rocking chair. I follow because that is what is left. That night 3 new children arrive together. Triplets, still holding hands. Their mother's voice echoes behind them, raw from screaming their names. Mom welcomes them one by one. The circle widens. The lullaby gains 3 new voices, high and trembling but already learning the tune. I watch from my tiny chair. The shark tooth Mangal Sutra brushes the floor. 76 teeth now. 77. 78. I close my eyes. Behind my eyelids the sun still burns. A tiny coin I can visit when the dark grows too gentle. I keep it secret, even from Mom. Some things a son must keep for himself. The house settles deeper. The glow from the single yellow window grows dimmer, farther, a star sinking into forever. Above, on the surface, the coast has changed. Resorts rose and fell. A highway cut through where the casuarina tree once stood. Maps no longer show the beach house. Only a blue patch marked dangerous currents, no swimming. But the fishermen still leave a steel tiffin at low tide once a year. Inside, fresh parathas, a small bottle of mango pickle, and a note in shaking handwriting. We are sorry. We should have searched longer. The tiffin is always empty when they return at dawn. The paratha's gone. The pickle bottle licked clean. Sometimes they find a red ribbon tied around the handle. Sometimes a single shark tooth. They take these as blessings. They do not understand they are receipts. Down here, Mom says everything. Every ribbon, every tooth, every tear. She strings them into new Mangal Sutras for the smallest children. So they too will always remember whose they are. I am 3 now. Soon I will forget how to walk. Soon I will fit perfectly in her lap again. The circle is thousands wide. The lullaby is a storm that shakes the trenches. Mom is 8. Her voice is changing, becoming higher, higher, thinner. Soon she will be too young to rock the chair alone. We will have to help her. We will rock her the way she rocked us. That is fair. That is love. The door still knocks sometimes, but softer now. Children come willingly these days. They have heard the song in their dreams. They walk into the water, holding their own small hands. They do not struggle. They know Mom is waiting with open arms and warm parathas. And far above, the last fisherman who remembers the old stories is very old. He sits on the rocks every evening. He sings the lullaby he once heard on the wind. His voice is cracked but true. Sometimes the sea answers in 1,000 children's voices. Sometimes the waves carry a single red ribbon to his feet. He ties it around his wrist. He smiles. He understands at last. There was never anything to forgive, only something to join. One morning he does not go home. His boat is found empty, or is shipped, a steel tiffin on the seat. Inside, one perfect aluparada and a note in round childish writing. Thank you for the song, Nana. Come swim with us. The tide takes the boat. The highway roars on, indifferent. But late at night, truck drivers swear they see a yellow window far out at sea. And if they roll down their windows, they hear laughing millions of children laughing, and one very young mother singing them to sleep forever. The swing moves without wind, back and forth, carrying every child who ever lost, carrying every mother who ever waited, carrying the sun I keep behind my eyes, smaller now but still warm. I am 2. I can only whisper. Soon I will forget words altogether. But I will not forget the taste of paratha on a real morning, or the feeling of Mom's hand in mine when the world still had edges. Those things are mine, forever. The circle turns. The lullaby rises. The house glows softer, deeper, content. And Mom, my mom, our mom, the sea's mom, rocks in the center of everything. Younger every day. Needed every day. Loved every day. Eternal. The door is always open. The lamp is always lit. There is always room. Always. Come when you are tired. Come when you are lonely. Come when the surface world grows too sharp. We will be here. Swinging. Singing. Waiting with warm steel plates and red ribbons and arms that never let go. The night is long. But we are patient. We have forever. And forever is just another word for home. The circle stopped turning the day Mom became a newborn. It happened without warning. One moment she was 6, sitting in the rocking chair that no longer rocked because we had become the chair, our arms the slats, our voices the creak. The next moment she shrank. Smaller, smaller, until the red ribbons slipped from her wrists and floated away like jellyfish. Her eyes, ancient eyes, looked up at us from a face no bigger than my fist. She made a sound, not a word, a mew, a beginning sound. The lullaby faltered. For the first time in all the centuries, 2,000 voices missed a note. We stared. The house itself held its breath. The newborn Mom lifted one tiny hand toward the circle. We understood at once. The debt had reversed. She had taken every lost child into herself until there was nothing left of the woman who once cooked a lupara on a real stove. Now she was the lost child. And we, every drowned son and daughter, every bride in red, every fisherman and tourist and triplet, were the mothers. Priya, still 7, forever 7, stepped forward first. She knelt. She gathered the baby into her small arms the way Mom had once gathered her. Rohan followed, then the bride, then the old fisherman, then me, 2 years old now, barely able to toddle, but toddling anyway. We formed a new circle. Smaller, tighter, around the newborn who had once been our mother. The rocking chair dissolved into coral dust. We did not need it anymore. We became the chair. We became the arms. We became the voice. The lullaby started again, but slower, deeper, older than the sea itself. 2,000 mothers singing to one infant. The sound rose through trenches, through midnight zones, through every layer of blue and black until it broke the surface like a whale's breath. On the shore, far above, the last living person who remembered the old stories, an old woman now, been almost double, heard it. She had come every dawn for 60 years, leaving parathas, leaving ribbons, leaving tears. This morning she heard an answer. She smiled with toothless gums. She walked into the waves, still wearing her faded cotton sari. The water took her gently, like a grandmother lifting a sleepy grandchild. She did not struggle. She only whispered, "I am coming, Beta." Down below, the circle opened once more. One more chair, one more voice. The newborn opened her mouth and drank the lullaby the way babies drink milk. Her eyes, those impossible ancient eyes, closed. She slept, and in that sleep she grew again, but not older. She grew complete. Every grief we had carried, every unsaid sorry, every night spent calling a name into wind, poured into her like rivers returning to ocean. She absorbed it all. She forgave it all. She became the forgiveness itself. The house sighed, one long exhalation that lasted 100 years. Walls turned translucent. Coral became glass. Glass became light. Light became nothing at all. We felt ourselves lifted, not up, not down, simply out. Out of time, out of depth, out of debt. The circle loosened. Hands slipped from hands without sadness. Priya looked at me and smiled the first free smile I had seen in forever. Rohan waved once, shy, the way living boys wave when they are about to race the tide. The bride's veil lifted and became 1,000 white butterflies. One by one we rose, not as bodies, not as ghosts, as something the sea had kept polished and hidden until it was ready to give back. I felt the shark tooth Mangalsutra loosen. The teeth turned to petals, rose petals. They drifted away on a current that smelled of sunrise and hot ghee. I was 10 again, then 20, then 34, then simply myself, the man who once sold a house he should never have touched. I looked down and saw the beach house one last time. It was small now, a child's toy left on the sand after playtime. Golden light poured from every window. Inside, the newborn slept in the arms of every mother she had ever been. She did not need us anymore. We had needed her, and she had carried that need until it became love, too heavy for one heart. Now the love was shared. Now it was light enough to float. I looked up. The surface was close. Morning. Real morning. The sun I had kept behind my eyelids all those centuries was suddenly everywhere. I broke through. I gasped real air. Real salt stung real eyes. I lay on my back in shallow waves and cried like a man who has been allowed to be born again. Around me, others surfaced. Hundreds. Thousands. Some old, some young, some in school uniforms, some in wedding red, some in nothing but forgiveness. We did not speak. We only floated, faces turned to the same sun, letting it burn away the last of the salt. On the shore, a little girl in a yellow frock stood watching. She held a red ribbon in one hand and half a parrot in the other. She was maybe 6. She looked exactly like Mom at 6. Exactly. She waved. We waved back. Then she turned and ran toward a small house, newly built where the old one once stood. A house with blue windows and a swing on the veranda. A house that would never be sold. I stood up. Water streamed from my ordinary, living body. I walked out of the sea for the first time since the night I walked in. The sand was warm. The dog barked. The crows fought over coconuts. A radio played Kishore Kumar. Everything was loud and bright and unforgivably beautiful. I looked back once. The sea was only sea. Blue, sparkling, empty. No yellow window. No lullaby. Only gulls and the smell of frying onions from someone's kitchen. I smiled. I knew the house was still there, deeper than deep, glowing softly for any child who might still need it one day. But its door had closed gently behind us. Its work for now was done. I turned toward the road, toward life, toward whatever came after forgiveness. And somewhere inside my chest, very small but warm, the taste of a luparda and mango pickle lingered. A promise kept, a debt paid, a mother's love returned, multiplied, set free. I walked on. The swing on the new house creaked once in the breeze, as if saying goodbye. Or hello. Or both. I did not look back again. There was no need. Some homes you carry inside you forever. Some mothers never let go, even when they set you down on the shore and tell you to run. I ran. The sun was high. The day was real. And for the first time in forever, I was not afraid of tomorrow. The story ends here. Not with drowning, but with breathing. Not with closing a door, but with opening every window wide. The sea keeps its own secrets now. The house sleeps, small and golden, waiting patiently for the next lost child who needs a mother more than air. But we are walking in sunlight. We are laughing at bad jokes. We are burning our fingers on hot parathas. We are growing old the proper way, one ordinary day after another. And when night comes, we sleep without lullabies. Because we no longer need to be sung to. We have become the song. Forever begins where forever ends. In a single held breath, released into morning. In a red ribbon, tied around a living wrist. In the smell of the sea that is only the sea again. And in the soft, distant creak of a swing that says, whenever you are ready, whenever you forget how to be brave, I will be here, warm, waiting, mother, always, the end.